Well, the Obama administration is willing to step up drone strikes in Yemen even further, despite no precise intelligence on terrorist targets there. That's according to a report from Washington. And this may be well sending chills down the spines of ordinary Yemenis who are bearing the brunt of the unmanned attacks. By some estimates, for every one terrorist taken out by a drone strike, 50 civilians are killed. More details now from RT's Egor Piskunov.
Recent research suggests that since 2002, U.S. drone strikes in Yemen have claimed the lives of over 870 people. 99% of those victims were killed under the Obama administration, 38 since late July alone. Washington claims most of them were suspected Al-Qaeda terrorists, but locals are painting a different picture. It's hard to verify the exact number of civilian deaths. Eyewitness reports are often contradictory, and the bodies of those killed in drone strikes are sometimes too badly charred to be identified. In September last year, 13 civilians were killed, including women and children, near the village of Rada in eastern Yemen. U.S. officials were anonymously quoted as saying their intended target was completely missed and the incident was a mistake, but no official acknowledgement or apology followed. Here's another example, this time from 2011. Conflicting reports blame a drone strike for the deaths of up to 50 people, including around 30 civilians, after a police station fell under militant control. Washington maintained its stance of not commenting on individual cases. All these drone strikes in Yemen, at least 79 in total under President Obama, are done in the name of counterterrorism, fighting Al-Qaeda's offshoot on the Arabian Peninsula known as AQAP. But there are suggestions that such attacks, combined with civilian deaths, destroyed homes, and crippling poverty, are actually drawing people closer to AQAP, something even President Obama acknowledges.
Now, this is not to say that the risks are not real. Any U.S. military action in foreign lands risks creating more enemies and impacts public opinion overseas. The very precision of drone strikes and the necessary secrecy often involved in such actions can end up shielding our government from the public scrutiny that a troop deployment invites. It could also lead a president and his team to view drone strikes as a cure-all for terrorism.
Locals say as soon as the dust settles from drone attacks, AQAP arrived on the scene, rebuilding homes and offering to pay funeral costs, turning the U.S. policy into an ideal recruitment tool. And although the strikes are conducted with the go-ahead from the Yemeni government, every civilian death is likely to fuel resentment in the country, meaning America may unintentionally be doing Al-Qaeda's PR and recruitment on their behalf.
We spoke to Raheb Badi, an advisor to Yemen's prime minister, who says that it's a clear-cut fact that America's drone strategy isn't working. Otherwise, its foreign forays would be over by now.
It does not simply come down to how many deaths have been caused by the drones. We believe that if drone strikes were capable of putting an end to terrorism, the US would have already ended terrorism both in Pakistan and in Iraq. A successful strategy cannot rely on sheer military force alone, because it is much more than a security threat. The underlying causes of terrorism are in the political, social, educational, and mostly economic problems of our country. We believe that bloodshed can only lead to more bloodshed. Therefore, drone strikes cannot be a viable solution to this problem.
Well, America's drone strategy is finding much approval at home, with recent surveys suggesting that up to 65% of U.S. citizens say yes to strikes abroad. Foreign policy expert Robert Nyman believes that is mostly because Washington refuses to lift the veil of secrecy.
We should all be troubled about a secret war that's conducted according to secret law. The Obama administration refuses to disclose the legal memos purporting to explain why the policy is legal and constitutional. The American people aren't getting the information they would need to come to an informed decision about this policy. And while, we should hold the media to a high standard, the government is making their job very difficult with the secrecy, the clampdown on information, the crackdown on whistleblowers, the refusal to disclose basic information like who we're fighting, how many people have been killed, how many civilians have been killed, what's the legal justification. The Obama administration is refusing to disclose any of this information, and that makes it much harder for the media to do their jobs.